Thanks, Gabby. Game day 3, and we're here at Neston Recreation Ground for the clash between Kingan's Kippers and Box Badgers. The weather today looks cool and breezy with rain in the air, the dampness lingering like an unwanted priest at a school disco. But the children on this occasion are two football teams, and the damp priest may well lift himself off later.
Yes, Flano, it's wet and wild, and the DJ's spinning some tunes here, though I don't see no priest. Plenty of God spirit about the place, though. Like all days for me, it's just great to be alive and surrounded by God's love. And more importantly, God's love of football, which I share in spades. Buckets and spades.
We're happy to have Fred from Bernie's join us again in the commentary box today. He'll be running the rule over action and giving insight into the thrills, spills and controversies that may or may not occur over the course of proceedings. One thing is for sure though, football will occur, and we'll bring it to you live and direct from the rec.
Damp day, great for football. Bad for cutting hair, mind you, especially with that wind coming in from Melksham. It'll blow your comb over right up, Mark, and I've always said that when the wind blows up a comb over, it's like closing a drawbridge to the mind. I've seen better men than you talk absolute bollocks for 90 minutes straight just because they've not got their barnet right or they've forgotten their at. Known in the trade as Charlton's curse, ends many a career.
Two teams today face off for the first time this season. The Kippers have had a tough start. 2 away fixtures and 2 defeats means they have plenty riding on today's fixture. The Kippers are looking for a first win against the Box Badgers, who look good so far this season. 2 wins and a clean sheet last time out means they're right up there in the rankings.
Yes, Flano, the Kippers need to start picking up points and pronto. League table doesn't lie and it currently says, Kippers, you are the worst team in the league. And then it turns to the other team and it says, Badgers, you are the second best team in the league based on points, but also taking into account goal difference. That's only today though, and lots can change over the season. I'll only listen to that table at the end of the season. Until then, I'll only be listening to that table with one ear open.
Kippers at home are in their garish pink and yellow shirts with flamboyant turquoise stitching. Badgers in the familiar green and white shirts. Both teams will be looking to edge the physical battle today. Let's look at the team sheets and find out who's putting on the armour. Manager Ogilvy Rob keeps faith in his team despite a recent tough patch. One of the game's great minds, always thinking, and he's got some strong nerves to keep up with the same team after 2 defeats, albeit away from the Neston Rec. Tim Parker starts in goal after a match to forget last time out.
Yeah, he's a decent keeper, very large body, which no doubt helps. The mobility is an issue, but nobody's perfect. I often think of him when I go for walks in the country and I sneak past a sleeping Guernsey.
It's Dave Pearce at the back, holding the fort. A marquee signing for the club who made no secret of their mistrust of Jordan Edwards and moved heaven and earth to get Pearce into the team.
I'm a big fan of Pearce, to be fair. He's a quality guy and he keeps his hair nice and tidy. Seen him down the Met a few times. He's good value for a pint or 2. Likes to smoke though, which some people don't like, but for me he can do what he wants. We've all experimented in our youth, and not just with washout hair dyes.
Luke Mortimer is flying solo in midfield today. He'll certainly have his hands full against Messrs Lai, Harrison and Hughes.
Yeah, great engine on him. He's a nice little runner with a good eye for goal, but in the past his hair has always been an issue. It's too short for my liking. Needs more imagination to really make the most of the talents that he clearly has up top.
A front 3 filled with pace and quality. Manager Rob will be hoping that Watkins Snaith and Captain Derrick's respective stamina and physical presence will complement Fulham's undoubted class.
It'll be interesting to see how the attack gets on. Watkins Snaith has all that intelligence and, well, Danny is fucking hard and everybody knows it. Craig's another one who's got some serious quality with the ball at his feet and also with the comb in his hand. He's always managed to produce something when it really matters, be it a big game or a school disco. That kid can always deliver. It'll be quite a threesome if they click today.
The Badgers keep the same formation after an impressive home win that put Paston United in the shade last week. A second home win of the season makes good reading for player, manager, owner Millward. He's been vocal in the press this week about his team's chances of a title challenge.
Yeah, well, I've always said Millward's full of hot air, and this week I've been proven right. He's been going on and on about dynasties and eras. They've had a good start, and I'm looking forward to finding out just how good this team is going to be over the course of the season.
Dillaway anchors the team with calmness at the back, and his bond with centre-back Millward will be crucial to the team's success.
Yes, Dillaway is a calming presence. Did very well last week, a clean sheet, and he managed manager Millward out of a couple of sticky situations. Looks like a good father-son relationship is forming there, and word on the street was that Dillaway taught him how to shave last week.
The midfield is key, with Lai, Harrison and Hughes looking to continue the dominance the Badgers had in patches last week against the Pasties. Hughes returns to the team after the suspension from a red card gained in the opening game of the season.
Yes, Boozy's back, and he's looking good after that trim I gave him down box. He said he's been off the wagon though since that red card, but today he looks like a new man, full of spunk and gusto, and he'll be looking to put that spunk to good use, spraying his balls everywhere and working hard to please Harrison and Lai, who'll be absolutely begging for it.
Matt Brock continues to lead the line. He showed great willingness to make space last week, and on another day could have ended up with a goal or two. Frustrated at the time with what he thought was a lack of service, he'll surely get a touch this time out.
Yes, Flano, he's put in a good show last week. Service was an issue, and I'd hope that he's worked on the bonding with his teammates in training this week. There's a lot of product going on in that midfield, and Brock is more about the structure and the actual cut. Lai and Harrison won't have liked seeing that wedge coming into the dressing room, so it could take a bit of time for them to gel. And I ain't talking about hair gel, I'm talking metaphorically.
Of course, Fred. The referee today is Tony Threlfall. Let's see what he can make of the game today after a royal pig's ear got him a lot of stick in the papers this week.
Well, Mark, he was a fucking liability last week. Got to be said. Fucking liability.
Kippers start the game today playing down the hill towards the main road end with the wind at their back, offering an advantage, so let's see what happens. The two teams have a lot of class, and with the Kippers at home and desperate for a win, there should be some goals around.
Tough one to call this week, Flano. Badgers on a good run, but the Kippers will have that home advantage, and crowd are getting right behind them. If Pearce can manage Brock and the runners from midfield, that might well be the key to the result. But it might be down to whether Kippers wingers can keep Hughes and Lai honest and pin them back down the flanks.
Threlfall looks at the sky and blows his whistle, and Fulham nonchalantly starts the game. Kippers meet the Badgers, and it will literally be a fight to the death for these two teams today. Good start from the Kippers, and Parker gathers the ball and hoofs it high into the air towards Derek, who wins the header easily against Hughes, and the ball falls to Mortimer, who's just inside the Badgers' half. Mortimer looks right now and sees Watkins Snaith galloping down the right and plays a slide rule pass in his direction. Snaith now, he's in behind here and he's headed towards the goal, into the area, and he lets fly, and it's a good save from Dillaway, who parries, and Millward gets it clear.
Well, Derek is looking very strong in the air, especially against Boozy. And what a pass from Mortimer. Millward didn't know whether to stick or twist, and he had Fulham to look after, so he tried to keep them both at bay. That overload worked well, and it's just Watkins Snaith's finishing to let the Badgers off there. They need a bit more running from Lai and Harrison, if you ask me.
Good play from Mortimer. Great running to get onto the end of that ball from Watkins Snaith too, just lacking the finish.
Yeah, you need passion in this game. If you don't wake up every day and look at yourself in the mirror and know you're going to give some lucky fella out there the cut of his life, well then what's the fucking point?
Absolutely, Fred. Now Pearce looking sprightly as he plays a long diagonal ball towards Derek, who again makes it look easy as the The ball falls to Mortimer just inside the Badgers' half, and he sees Dillaway off his line, and he has a go from 35 yards, and it's dipping under the bar, and that's a fabulous goal from Luke Mortimer.
Fucking hell!
Incredible strike from the midfielder. Dillaway caught out off his line, and he picks the ball out of the net, looking very sheepish, but it's a moment of instinctive brilliance and quick thinking after Derek won another knockdown. The Kippers using that first half advantage to good effect, and it's 1-0.
Lovely goal from the Kippers. Derek is just looking so strong in the air, and it's a sublime strike from Mortimer. He knows the purity of his strikes, and that was another one for the family album. He's wheeled away and he's slid towards the corner flag, and the whole team's piling on. The crowd is going ballistic here.
Well, Mortimer won't hit many sweeter than that this season, and he's set this game alight. Well, the crowd here is cooking with gas, and the tempo's up at the minute. Millward bawling out live for his lack of action so far, and it's Dillaway who has the ball and lays it out to captain Millward, who finds Hughes on the right hand side. Lays it to Harrison. He's barely been in the game so far. Harrison to Millward, and that's better from the Badgers. Millward to Harrison, who releases Lye, who's looking only forwards, and he's got Watkins-Snaith on his back. Lye continues on though, and he's into the Kippers half with Watkins-Snaith biting his heel, and it's one bite too many for Threlfall's liking, who blows up, and it's a free kick within range. Oh well, Watkins-Snaith was snailing a bit close to the win there, and he's being called over by Tony Threlfall. Yeah, and it's a yellow there, a bit soft, but Tony's probably had a few talking tos this week, so he's trying to keep a grip on the game early doors. He's a man who don't have many principles, so I reckon he's just doing his toad. Free kick then, on the left-hand side, centre left, and Harrison will no doubt fancy this one. Stands over the ball as Parker sets himself, and Harrison steps up, and it's just wide of the left-hand post from Harrison. He tried to bend that one in. I think Parker had it covered, but he was certainly scrambling a little. Yeah, Harrison needed a target there then, didn't he? It's a greasy ball at the minute, and Parker's a big lump, but he ain't got much in the way of handling skills. Now Pearce posts a high one towards Fulham, who's tussling with Millward, and he's won that duel, and the ball rolls away from goal towards Mortimer, who's happy to take a touch, and midway inside the Badgers' half he looks left, then looks right, then he plays the ball out in front of Derek, who's picking up the pace now against Hughes and wins that race, and he's in behind again, and Harrison sees the danger and he's coming across, but Derek has got that extra gear in on goal from the left hand side, and now Derek, and Dillaway's off his line, but Derek gets a shot off and it's wide off the far post, and that was a good chance for the Kippers. Unlucky from Derek, nice turn of pace there. Harrison wasn't close, but maybe his presence made Derek take that shot a little earlier than he'd liked. Dillaway is so quick off his line though, and he makes the angle harder to score from. Good work from the keeper to hold off the Kipper. Indeed, Fred, the Kippers are really putting on a good show with the wind at their backs. Yeah, of course, back then all I needed was a razor and a pair of snips and I was away. It didn't matter where I was. Sometimes I didn't even know. I'd just wake up, do a cut, go to the local bar, find a nice lady, and that'd be the day. Thank you very much. If you've just joined us, it's 1-0 at Neston Rec, and ladies' man Fred from Burney's is with us in the commentary box. He's a well-travelled fellow, and the game's been travelling well too, with the Kippers' attack in the ascendancy. Now though, the ball's in the Kippers' half with Pearce, who looks forward, but there's not much on, so he lays the ball to Parker, who again hammers the ball into the misty air towards the left-hand side, where Derek and Hughes are jostling, and it goes to the big man again, who nods to Mortimer, and he's got his head up and he sees Fulham in a bit of space. He lays the ball to Fulham, back to goal, and he's leading into Millward, who's slithering around Fulham like a salmon, but it's Fulham who's giving him the slip, and he gets the shot off from outside the box, and Dillaway makes a good save to his right, and then collects the ball and stands there pushing his hands down to say, calm down, it's going to be fine, everyone. Decent save from Dillaway there. Fulham's got that quality to find the back of the net, but it's a
good stop, and Dillaway's holding on to the ball there, taking a bit of sting out of it. Yes, he rolls the ball out to Millward, who quickly plays the ball to Harrison in the centre of the field, and he's joined by Mortimer, who's ushering him out to the right-hand side, and Harrison plays the ball to Hughes, and Threlfall peeps on his whistle, and that's half-time. Yeah, the Kippers have been strong in this half, and they've had some good chances. It's 1-0, and maybe it could have been more from the opportunities that they made. Yeah, I agree, Flano. A few nice chances from the front three made today. Long balls from the back are finding their men, and contest between old Boozy and Derek is only going one way. The Kippers are ahead, but there's another half to go, and Millward will no doubt make some tweaks in the second half. He's a cool cat, and he had his eyes open for that first 45 minutes. Yes, those cat's eyes will no doubt be shining some light on the ears of the players in the dressing room. And those ears better listen if the Badgers are to get back into this game. It's 1-0 at the break. Yeah, I've enjoyed the Kippers' game plan so far, looking to bypass that midfield and hit their target men up top. It's working for them so far, but let's see if they can keep up in the second half, playing into that win now. Well, the Badgers were out very early after a short team talk from Millward. He said everything he's needed to, and Daniel Hughes is looking a little shaken. Matthew Brock there gets the second half underway. Bloody hell. Boozy looks like he's seen a ghost, or he's put in a whitey or something. I hope he'll be okay. He needs a bit of tonic against Derek, that's for sure, and let's just hope there's no gin with it. Well, sun's starting to come out now, but that wind's still blowing. You've done well so far, Mark, but not too much crap coming out of your yapper. Yeah, appreciate that, Fred. Pearce now on the ball, and not much on, and he just plants that as far as he can downfield, and Millwall gets his head on that, and the ball falls into the centre circle, and it's where Harrison and Mortimer go in, and it's a hard challenge that Mortimer wins, and Threlfall waves play on with the ball spinning into the Badgers' half, where Fulham holds it up and holds off Millward. A little bit of muscle from Fulham, and he's got Mortimer with him now. Fulham takes Millward towards the right-hand side now, and he lays it back into Mortimer, who's now approaching the box, and he goes for glory first time, and it's a few yards wide of Dillaway's left-hand post. Lukey. Another touch there, son. Bit more composure from Mortimer there, and he'd been one-on-one, and I'd have backed a better striker to finish that. Let's hope we don't regret that one later on. Yes, good chance there. Mortimer got everything behind it, but he didn't trouble Dillaway, who's starting to get frustrated with his defence now. Yeah, you talk about a culture or building an identity. I used to cut the whole squad's hair before games. For me, that's just what being a captain is all about. Indeed, Fred. Well, Millwall used the hairdryer at half-time. I'm just not sure it was plugged in. It's Kippers captain Derek, though, on the ball now. He's past Hughes and he's heading towards the box. Millward stayed in field, so Dillaway's had to come off his line, and Derek knows it, and he pokes the ball past Dillaway. He's made contact near the byline, and it was late, and Derek's up on his feet in a flash. No theatrics there. Well, Dillaway's a big lad, but he's asking for mercy here. Not from that joker Threlfall, but from Danny Derek. Oh, and Derek's angry here, though. He's trying to go head-to-head with Dillaway, who's not having any of it. Yes, Fred, Dillaway's backing off as quickly as he can. Watkin-Snaith is trying to calm Derek down by flicking his glasses up and down on his face, but that's not working at all. And Threlfall is starting to come over, but he's dragging his heels a bit. Classic pussy tactics from Tony. You can smell fear in his pants stronger than a bloody kipper. Threlfall's finally got to speak to Derek, and Tony calls over Dillaway, and he brandishes a yellow card right in front of Derek, and then he does the same to Derek, who's breathing deeply, but he seems to be taking it into his stride. What a fucking plank that Threlfall is. Bloody spineless. Millward now, onto Harrison, then to Hughes, who's managed to get a foot on the ball, but Derek's approaching, and Hughes gets rid of that ball as quickly as he can, sensing the danger. Harrison picks it up again, and then on to Lai. Back to Millward. It's better from the Badgers. And Millward out to the right-hand side now. That's it. On the ground. Hughes now. Slips the on-rushing Derek, and he's in a bit of space. Continues down the right. Looks inside and sees Brock, who calls for the ball, and
Hughes finds Harrison halfway inside the Kippers half in a bit of space now, and onto Lai now, and he takes a touch and moves down the left-hand side with Mortimer heading over. He looks up and he centres the ball, but it's to the edge of the box where Harrison brings the ball down and places the ball into the bottom corner of Parker's goal, and Harrison made that look easy. It's 1-1 here.
Yes, nice finish from the bigger boy. 2 yards to the right of Parker, who don't put up much of a fight, bless him.
Cool finish from Harrison brings the game level, and a bit more control and possession from Box Badgers gets some reward.
Yes, good team goal. Even Boozy got a decent run in there. Everyone got a touch except Brock, but Millward won't mind that as long as his midfielders are happy.
It's even Steven, and the Kippers were undone by some quality passing there. Game's nicely balanced here. The Badgers are starting to purr a bit, and the midfield's starting to click.
Yes, knocking it about well now. Millward's got that strut, and the away fans are in good voice.
Yes, and it's Millward again, who plays the ball to Harrison, but that's a bit loose, and Mortimer pounces on this. He's headed straight towards goal, and he fakes a pass to Fulham, which Millward buys. Mortimer in on goal, and it's just wide of the post from Mortimer. A few chances today.
Hell, this game could be dead and buried with a few better finishes from Mortimer. Jesus Christ, that was a close one. Matter of inches just past the post.
Well, Millward puffs his cheeks and blows a sigh of relief. He shares a knowing look with Dillaway, and they both know that was a let-off.
Yes, nice bit of play there, son.
Oh, that's good stuff from Harrison in the middle of the park. He deceived Mortimer, and then he lays the ball to Lai, who drives infield. He's making good ground here. Mortimer with him, though, and just gets a toe on the ball, but it's gone loose, and it goes to Brock, who picks the ball up, and he gets his head down to test Pearce, and down the right channel. He's into the area. Brock looks to shoot, but he pulls it back to Lai, who's unmarked. He lays the ball into the net with ease, and it's 2-1 to the Badgers here.
Well, it's been coming, and this has come from a likely source, though. Matt Brock, he's the provider after finally getting the ball. Very unselfish from Brock, who's given Lai a golden chance, which he's taken casually. Lai wheels away and heads for the manager Millward to celebrate, but Millward's headed straight for Brock, pointing his fingers in celebration, and the manager's delighted with the striker. Well, that's good to see. Brock's very happy, and he's being congratulated by the whole team there. He's going mental. He's screaming. The guy is pumped. They're rubbing his hair, and Harrison is actually taking Brock's shirt off.
Threlfall doesn't like this at all, and he's calling over Brock, and it's a yellow card for Brock for removing his shirt, and Brock is speechless.
Well, he's not that speechless now. He's bloody angry. He's livid, and rightly so. It looks like he's told Threlfall where to go, and he's giving him the fingers.
Threlfall doesn't look too happy about that, and he issues another yellow card followed by a red for Matthew Brock.
Oh, you've got to be fucking joking.
Well, the Badgers lose a man, and Brock and manager Millward are beside themselves. Home fans willing their team on here, and Parker holds the ball in his hands and he wallops the ball into the Badgers' half. Fulham is under this one, and he's gotten the header out to the right-hand side where Watkins Snaith collects and heads infield straight at goal, where Millward is screaming at his players to get back. On you go, pal. Harrison's across, and Watkins slips the ball to Mortimer, who looks up and sees the goal. Mortimer shapes the shoot, but instead lays the ball to Derek. Derek now back to Mortimer. He's in a good position with no Badger in sight, and he lets fly from the edge of the box. It's saved by Dillaway. Pushes the ball out of play. So close.
Wonderful save from Dillaway. He's been good today, and that's another fine save from the big man.
It's a corner though, and Mortimer comes over to the near side to take it, and lofts his arm above his head before approaching the ball, and lays the ball into the near post. It's Danny Derrick! Front post, bullet header, straight through Dillaway's hands, but the power of the header beats him. Danny Derrick!
Well, you couldn't write it, could you? Club captain Daniel Derrick with a throbbing header. With a different ref, he wouldn't even be on the pitch, but he's here today, and he's brought the Kippers back from the brink.
It's 2-2 here, and the home fans are going berserk. Derrick salutes them, and he heads back to the centre circle.
Oh, he's really pumped there, and rightly so. Fabulous header there. Unstoppable.
And that's it. Frantic finish to the game mean it's all level at the full-time whistle. Club captain Danny Derrick brought the Kippers back after they'd made enough chances to win the game, but found themselves behind after a decent second half showing from box. Cracking finish, and what a second half. As I said, Trowford has been influential again, but not for the right reasons. He's let Derrick off and he's given Brock his marching orders. I'd be lying if I say it hasn't affected the game. Still, the home fans won't give a toss about that. Man of the match for me today was Mortimer. Could have had a hat-trick today, but a golden assist have helped his team to the first points of the season. And it's all square from the Kippers and the Badgers, with some class on show from both teams and a grandstand finish from Derrick. Means the two teams share the spoils from a good game all round. Great game, but that ref will be in the papers again tomorrow. I'm off to go and give them a bollocking if they let me near the clubhouse. Okay, Fred, give them one from me. Ta-da, Flano. I've been Mark Flannel, and now back to you in the studio, Gabby.